Evening, my loves. We're at it again, and I think my camera shifted. Shit. We're at it again with Shit's True podcast, I guess. I don't know. It'll get there eventually. Where we go over, of course, movies and documentaries that I want to review and see how close they are to the actual true story. And what is the true story? Is it better? Is it worse? We're gonna find out. Tonight's movie will be The Exorcist. And I know what you're gonna say. That's not based off a true story. That's based off a fucking book. But that fucking book was based off a true story. So, in your fucking face. So, of course, I don't even have to go over the movie and stuff before I say it's not going to be anywhere near the true story. It's very loosely based because it's based off the book that was loosely based off a true story. So, take it with a grain of salt. Grain of salt. I will say about this movie. Sorry, I'm also trying to get this stuff up. And my mic's been sounding terrible, so I do want to see, like, need to know how I'm sounding. You know what I mean? But, so, I've watched The Exorcist before. Of course, it came out in 1973. Yes, I have notes here. I'm totally cheating. Anyways, 1973, it came out. And when it came out, it was a fucking new phenomena. Like, no movie had crossed these lines before. People were talking about throwing up in the theater and shit. Like,
anything I can do to help.
they were very dramatic about it. But I say that because this was one of the first movies my mom was like, oh, you want to see a scary movie? I'll show you a scary movie. So I saw this when I was like 13, and it bored the fucking piss out of me. And now I rewatched it, and it's not much better. It really has a lot of just unnecessary things happening in it. That I cannot find my fucking chat thing. Anyways, the movie starts out, of course, archaeological dig in Iraq, and it says it. I'm not just guessing. It does say Iraq. And they're digging for things, which is like the automatic, don't do that. Don't mess with the dead. Oh, also we're playing Fallout tonight. Me and my ghoul Betty are gonna be farting around. I left off here trying to get a bear to eat a Yaogwai to eat a raider. It never worked out for me. I kept fucking dying, but I figured it out. So as we head off, let's also head off. So like I said, the movie starts in, do I go here? The movie starts off in Iraq. They're doing an archaeological dig. They're definitely looking for something. And it takes for fucking ever. Like he finds it's this old white dude, of course, and finds this charm in the dirt, right? And then he goes for a cup of tea, and he's very distraught, looking around, feeling paranoid, spirits are whispering, and then he goes back to the archaeological site. After, like, stumbling, it's very intricate, like, he's stumbling around, he's swaying, it's giving you the impression, like, oh my god, the demon's already here. The demon is in the fucking totem thing he found. He almost gets run over by this cart going, and they show the old lady in the cart, like, just laughing, just like, I almost killed you. And then he's like, oh god. And then the lady in the cart, and oh god. And they put a lot of emphasis on this for no fucking reason. He gets to the site. The guards come running out. Huh, who is it? Oh, it's just the old guy. And they look genuinely like so fucking annoyed at him. They're giving him the most like shittiest looks, like, ugh, we were trying to eat our fucking sandwiches, like, just a waste of our time. And they goes scuffling back, and he goes back to the site, and then there's this, I guess they found another bigger statue, and you're hearing like dogs howling, and the music's very intense, you know how they do in like all demon stuff. Like there's always drums. Demons really love drums for some reason. It's just like boom, 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 ah! Like screaming, and you're like, what's about to happen? Nothing. Cut to an actress in fucking Washington. I want to say it's Washington State. I don't know if they ever actually put it on screen, but so let's pause this. This movie is 2 hours long, 2 hours and some change long, and so already have spent. We were in Iraq for a good 20 fucking minutes. I was just watching this white dude. He never comes back in the movie. This totem never appears in this movie. After this, I don't know what the point of the Iraqi shot was. We spent all this time getting to know the dude. Other than, did he release it and it just fluttered away over to Washington for no fucking reason? We don't know. Because it seemingly has no characters. That you never see white guy again. You don't know what happened to him. Nobody talks about the fucking totem. It never comes up of, I have my uncle's journal, like nothing. So it's useless. It was a useless 20 fucking minutes being very dramatic for no fucking reason. So now you've cut to this nice, like, brownstone, you know, kind of like something like this, but very nice. And a rich woman, and she's talking to her like maid and butler, and I'm just like, ugh. Just the way she talks to him, she's kind of a dick. But she also has a child. I feel like I don't want to be down here. I think a mission comes out this way. I'm not gonna fuck with it right now. Triangle. So she tells the guy, oh, that's sorry. When you cut to her, she's waking up to hearing scratching in the attic, and it's like, I didn't write down who directed this movie, but they were really into those like close-up shots, like the really into those. So that's happening. Cut to kitchen. You're supposed to build it up and then just fucking move on. It's done. Nothing's happening. And she tells her butler type guy, hey, there's rats in the attic. He's like, no, there's not. And she's like, well, I heard them. He's like, no, you didn't. And she's like, go get the fucking rats out of my attic. And he's like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I don't think I've ever been in here. Well, let's go see what's in here. So already, haunting's happening. We don't know why, but it is happening. Just the beginnings, though. We also meet her daughter, Reagan, who is supposed to be, like, I think they say she's 12 in the movie. But the way she's talking and stuff, I feel like they almost played her as an 8-year-old. And then I don't know if that's just where we are in life now. Like, is that just how 12-year-olds acted back then? And now, you know, we're all jaded pieces of shit, and this is where we are now. But they're like chit-chatting. It's showing that there is a definite relationship. It's a good relationship between mom and daughter here. They're having a good time. Then you cut over, and she's coming out of a trailer. The camera's over. She's an actress. So you're like, oh, okay, that's how she's fucking rich. She's a fucking actress. Cool. And she's at this college, and she's doing a movie, I think. Damn it. And there's a priest at the college, very handsome priest, and he's like taking pictures of everybody, and then it's like her time to shine, and she's like doing her lines, and he kind of like walks off, right? Like he's moved on. Like he was never a part of this scenario in any way. But then it made me go, okay, wait a minute. If he's not part of the movie or the movie group, why the fuck was he there? And why was everyone asking him for like he looked like autographs were happening. Like people were hugging on him. He's like smiling. Everyone's taking a selfie. Who the fuck are you? Like you think he was in the movie? He's not in the fucking movie. He's not even part of the movie. No connection to the movie. Well, a very small connection, light connection to the movie. Anyways, I'm already so fucking annoyed with this movie. So, can I get up there? Woo! Woo! I'm on top of the road! So then that cut again. So now we're at the we're following the priest now, and the priest is showing that he did live with his mother, and now my camera just moved. My kids are going fucking ham on the other side of this wall, and they just like completely shook my whole camera. So. What in the world? So he lives with his very elderly mother, and he's like, you know, we don't need this house, it's too big. And she's like, I live here, I die here. Apparently that does not work out, because you see his life kind of jump. Now he's in a bar, he's drinking, he's saying, I can't do this anymore. This isn't my life, I've lost my faith. And then it jumps to now he's at a hospital. Oh, and it looks terrible. It looks terrible. I guess it's old folks home, but honestly, it was fucking mental institution, and like the worst kind. I mean, these poor women just like zombie, and his own mother was like strapped to the bed. I'm like, even if she had Alzheimer's, my God. But that must have been the norm. That had to be the norm back then, because nobody's reacting in a "don't strap up my mother" kind of way. It's just more like, oh, I hate that I had to do this to her. But I guess his brother's there. So I guess because he became a priest, they're all broke, of course. So the brother couldn't afford to take care of the mom or put her in a nice home. The priest guy's like, well, I'm going to take her with me. He's like, the fuck you are? You have nothing. Get out of here. So priest is guilt-ridden that his mom is like in this horrible situation, and I think she dies. Like almost next scene, you see him boxing, so we know he's athletic, and he's actually, you kind of find out he's actually a therapist for the exorcism side of things, but he doesn't actually believe in the demons. He's like, I became a psychiatrist because I know there's other answers. So jump back. Now we're back with actress lady and her daughter. Now where do we find this little bitch? In the basement. What is she doing? Fucking Ouija board. Fucking Ouija board. But she also already had an imaginary friend. His name was like Mr. Hogan or something like that. So the mom is completely like, oh, this is so fun. Want me to join? And she's like, no, Mr. Hogan doesn't like you. And she's like, mm-mm. I never catch my kids on a Ouija board. I'm burning it. Burning it. It won't go well for them at all. I don't know how to get my phone for some reason isn't staying up so I can actually see my fucking chat. Anyways, so they show a couple more happy. No, then they cut to the mother's on the phone yelling at somebody. You do kind of presume, well, she's yelling at an operator and she's trying to get through to this hotel. So you're like, oh, okay, husband's somewhere off cheating, because she's clearly pissed. And how did that kill me? I don't have power armor on. So she's clearly like, okay, this is Oh, my mic does sound better. Turn this down. Okay. So she can't get a hold of father. Reagan's closing the door because this fight must happen actually quite often. So clearly mom and dad not getting along. Reagan doesn't like that. I guess we're laying the groundwork for why she might be susceptible. And also mom's still hearing scratches. Jumps back over to the priest for a couple more dramatic I hate my life shots. Back over to her, she's now having a very fancy party. She's all decked out. And a priest is there, and a director's there, and everybody's having a great time. The director's drunk, and he's leaving, and they're all singing around a piano. And then Reagan comes down, looks them in the eye, and just pisses on the floor. And she's like, oh my God. I will say, she did a great job. There was no yelling or anything like that, so awesome. Oh no. How did they die? No, he's choking him. He's definitely choking him. Steal my money, will you? Let's see if we can steal the money. We can. So everyone at the party is looking super awkward. She's apologizing. She's like, everyone keep partying. It'll be fine. She's just a little sick. She gets Reagan back in bed. Then the next scene you see, she's woken by Reagan's screams. She runs in. The whole bed is shaking, like jumping up and down. And she jumps onto the bed, and then they just scream together. And I was just like, why would you take her off the bed? But, in the moment, we can't say what we would do. So then the next scene, and I'm telling you, this is how quick it jumps too. There's no even talking about it. It's just like bam, bam, bam. They're in the hospital. She's getting scans done. They're like, it's probably a frontal lobe issue, temporal lobe issue, but scans are coming clean. These scans, this looked petrifying. I could see why people did not do hospitals back then. The machine was so fucking loud. And then even the x-ray thing, or MRI, I think it was an MRI, was just like, it's all very jarring and loud. So I do think whoever
might that have been locked for
made the composer, the music and stuff, I think they did a really great job. You really feel this movie because of that. So, of course, the doctors are kind of like, we'll try this medication, blah, blah. She's not getting better. She's yelling and stuff, and I want to say this is where you get, let's see. Let me check my notes real quick, because I don't want to jump too far ahead. Dun, dun, dun. Bed shaking. Oh, okay. So the first night after that, then the scratching comes back, and the mom's like, "Let me go in the attic." Sorry, my dog scared me. Let me go in the attic, and I'm trapped in this building now forever. And I'm like, no, never go in the fucking attic. She goes in the attic, and nothing's there. It's another high tense moment, and then the butler pops his head through, and he just goes, "See, no rats." I think he's Italian. And she just yeah, thanks. Okay, bitch. And he's just letting you know, God. She treats him like shit. She's not very nice to the help. That's for fucking sure. So now it kind of jumps from there to Reagan's just the mom's coming home. She's screaming. I want to say this is where the cross situation happens. So mom runs in. Reagan has a cross, just jabbing herself with it. Going to town, you know? I mean, just screaming all types of profanity. I will say, the costuming department fucking killed it. The effects department killed it. The scenes where she is clearly possessed and stuff, immaculate, and definitely still hold up. And this is why I say, I'm gonna need to turn away from the CGI. Like, I want my puppets back, damn it. I want my puppets, I want the animatronics, I want the makeup, I want the... Do you know they had someone who actually froze the room? They refrigerated the room. Like, so actors didn't have to, like, and this is where the breath will come out. So they go, ah, you know, like, and then it's CGI. Like, they actually had to sit in a cold room. The breath was real. Now that might be a little abusive, but it's really fucking cool. Like, that they did all of that, you know? And it holds up. That room looks realistic because that was what it happened, you know? Now it's just really sad. What are the behind the scenes of, like, Spider-Man? Dude in a green suit running around in circles. You know, it's not great. I think they should bring back the animatronics. And, like, CGI should help, you know? Smooth it out a bit. But not... It shouldn't be everything. It takes away from the creativity. Anyways, I'm done with that rant. So, after, like, accosting herself with the thing, blood, she beats the shit out of her mom. I mean, tosses her around. Hardcore. Chickens up with bruises and stuff. She ends up in front of this panel of doctors where she's like, fucking help my daughter. And they're like, ugh. You might want to call it church. Which I found so crazy. Like, that has to be... Of all the things happening in this movie, I really feel like that is the most unrealistic option. At least by today's standards. I don't know the 70s, but, like, by today's standards, unless you were going to, like, there's some hospitals around here that are, like, Catholic hospitals. The doctors in them are, like, Catholic or at least super religious, you know? So I expect, okay, maybe there. But just the idea of these doctors going, look, we've done every scan. Have you tried Jesus recently, you know? So of course she's like, are you fucking kidding me? But she goes, ooh. Oh, we're gonna explore Dunwich tonight, guys? I don't even know if I can get through this place at the level I'm at. This might be... Oh no, this is thicket. Ooh, money. So she ends up... I want to say she went to the priest that was in the movie, and he went and found Mr. Handsome, My Life is Over priest, and or at least got his name or something. They end up meeting up on a bridge, right? And she has, like, bruises, and she's like, please, God, help my baby. And he's like, exorcism or bullshit. Go to a doctor. She's like, I didn't fucking go to the doctor. They told me to fucking call the church. Now you're going to tell me to go back to the doctors? He's like, look, I'm telling you, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's not real. And she cries enough that he's finally like, I'll go meet her. But I'm telling you, this is BS.
Sweet.
It's something in her head, right? So, he ends up meeting her. And this is where I will say I get a little annoyed. And this is, I compare it to, like, the Annabelle thing. So by this point, she is the full makeup, you know, the green skin, the eyes, she looks horrendous. Like, if you saw a person who looked like that, no part of you would be like, it might be schizophrenia. No, you'd be like, is she dying? Like, maybe you don't go demons. But it wasn't even like he was going, oh, that's... Like, he never acknowledged her looks at all. Which I find, I don't know, that's just such a, like, disingenuous thing. Like, she looks horrendous. But it's like Annabelle. They're a remake. Like, she's supposed to be a Raggedy Ann doll. Fair enough. Innocent enough. But they made her this horrifying porcelain doll. Nobody would buy that. Nobody. Like, she looks horrendous. So he's doing the test, you know, because you have to test before you do an exorcism. You have to get approved by the church, so you have to do these tests. And he's like talking to the demon. And the demon's like, I'm the devil, and like even makes a drawer open. He's like, oh, did you do that? Do it again. And the devil's like, no, I'll do it when I feel like it. He's like, yeah, okay, because maybe you're not. I mean, I'd probably only need to see a drawer open once. Plus the fact that, have you seen who you're speaking to? She looks horrendous. So he finally, oh, what does she do to get his attention? I want to say this is where, like, oh, he ends up putting holy water on her, right? And she's like, wow, it burns. And he's like, it was tap water. You're fucking faking. Knew it. And I'm like, oh, dude, she just like made a drawer open. My God. But before he can leave and be like, no, seriously, it's all fake. It's all phony. It's dumb. You know, I want to say like the bed rattles and I don't know. Crazy shit goes down, which makes him go, fair enough. I'm gonna go get you another priest. And I gotta go talk to the church. You know, we gotta get this approved. So he gets all that done. And the one priest is like, well, I'll do it, but I'm gonna, I'm gonna need you have to be there with me. And he's like, no, I don't need to be there with you. I don't want to be a part of this. And he's like, no, seriously, you have to fucking be there too. So, yay! But he's like, fucking A. All right. So he adjusts the chair. I'm an old lady. I need my back support. No. Excuse me. Yada yada. They get to the place, and this is where the famous scene happens, like the poster scene happens of him walking up to the building and the fog blowing. It's a beautiful day for an exorcism. They say that in the movie. So he and this other dude, the other priest is taking it very fucking serious. While this guy's more like, I'm telling you, he's still kind of in this mindset of like, this is bullshit, but whatever, I'm here. And immediately she's like speaking in tongues and you can see things kind of scratch out of her skin, and he's like, oh my God. And this is where like the pea soup vomit happens. This scene is really the cultivation of all the fear of what you're gonna get out of. It's where the buildup led to, pretty much, and it's some good stuff. I will give it that it's good stuff. It doesn't necessarily scare me, and honestly, the pea soup does make me want to fucking throw up because it looks horrendously disgusting, and he like even at some point gets it on his like sash thing, and he's just like, oh, let me just clean that up and pass that off, and I'd be like, just put that on the floor, don't you dare pass that to me. So they're getting through there, so it's going horrendous. Like, this thing, it just keeps fucking coming, and he ends up she ends up shaking and stuff so much, she kills the old guy, and the young guy's like, he's finally gotten to a point where he's like, I believe. So he jumps on top of her, he's like, take me instead. And the demon goes inside him. You see like his eyes change, and he's like, and in that, and he's like fighting, he's like, oh, season up, and then he's like, you see a moment of clarity, and then he just jumps out the fucking window, just out the fucking window. And she's finally like, and it's looking at her, and you hear her crying. It's looking at the actress, and she's like, "What just fucking happened?" And the dead body of the old man, and the young guy died. So all in all, little girl lives. 2 priests, they're gone. They move out of the house. The actor that shows them, like, they're out, no more. The actress's assistant is like, "I'm out." Did I actually make it into this building? The problem with trying to talk and play this game. Oh, a person. I know there's like a mission.
I wonder how rainfall.
I don't think I have what I need to fully do this mission yet.
Right into the spring.
I have to be able to like go deep. And I don't want to start it and then be like, fuck, I cannot finish this mission. Then, you know what? Hey, isn't that what the challenge is for? So yeah, so that's the movie. There's a roll credits. 2 hours of that. So, of the spookies that I would give Exorcist, I'd really kind of give it like 3 spookies. It does have a spookiness that lingers, especially if you believe in demons, which I do. But I will say there's a lot of unnecessary. It's a lot. It's long-winded for no fucking reason, which makes it boring. Oh, can I not talk to him yet?
Looking to earn some
Oh, there we go.
cash?
I
I
am.
could use a hand here if you're all done gawking, you know.
I want money.
I could probably help.
I'm trying my evil
For a
playthrough.
few caps extra.
Just had to push, didn't you? 50 caps. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I can help.
What do you need help with?
The pump isn't in top shape, but it should at least start. There must be some leaky connections flooding the out. Think you could fix them? The leaks will be underwater. Look for bubbles, and you should find them.
Alright, let's see if we can do this. There's one right there. So, now we have the true story. And right off the bat, go in a different direction. This is a story of a 13-year-old boy. I think one of my kids is coming. A 13-year-old boy, and who
Maybe they've dug right into a spring.
actually,
Robots do not prefer to swim.
can he actually? I can't even see. Where are the bubbles? There we go. Still really can't see. There we go. Bubbles. Yep. Alright. So we got a 13-year-old boy. He's actually known as Roland Doe. He always stayed anonymous. His story takes place in 1949, so long time ago. He was I want to say he was a little ADHD kid. The way people described him was that he was nice, he did his work and everything, but he was a prankster, he was a jokester, he had a big personality, he was an only child, and he seemed pretty fucking happy. He was really close to his aunt, though, Aunt Tilly, and she was a spiritualist, so her and him would go and like can I even get down here? Play with Ouija boards together. And unfortunately Aunt Tilly passes away. And this is devastating for him. Because, you know, he loved his Aunt Tilly. Now I lost the bubbles. So he starts trying, allegedly, he starts trying to contact her on the Ouija board. And this is where things start getting weird. So mom starts hearing scratches around the house, and they even said it was like 11 days after the aunt had died, after he had tried to contact her with the Ouija board, that the scratching turned to like stomping. Like they described it as like an army running through their house, but towards his room. And I really should not smoke before I do this. I can read, I'm like a Ouija board. But I'm a boss, bitch. Who you gonna leave me for? That's some Cardi B for you. Okay. So 4 days later, oh, excuse me. There's actually a couple different accounts. So some accounts said it was Aunt Tilly died, 11 days later, haunting starts. Other ones said it was mess with Ouija board, hear things, Aunt Tilly dies, things get worse. So with all these sounds happening, and I guess in this time Roland was also like experiencing like the bed shaking. There was a story of him like sitting in a chair and it levitating and stuff. And he's of course having night terrors.
What if I redirect the flow through here?
Wait, what am I supposed to do? Oh, here we go. Oh, he couldn't do that.
I wonder how the quarry. Maybe they've dug right into it.
Oh, shit. So they were actually Lutheran. So they take him to a Lutheran priest first. And this guy's like, I'll just pray for you. It's fine. Things got worse. So the family tells him that. He's like, okay, well, I tell you what. Come stay the night at my house. And we'll see. And if shenanigans happen, because one thing that was wrong was Roland was a known prankster. So most people just assumed that's what was happening. He was pranking all of them. I'm gonna fucking die. Fuck, I do not have things to go after. Miralax. Hey, Miralax. That was my last impact. So he's like, come stay at my house. That way we know it's not shenanigans because it's a whole new place. There's no way he doesn't have time to set up anything if that's what he's doing. So it won't be possible. So like mom slept in the living room and him and Roland had separate twin beds and slept in the same room together though. Maybe I'll just machete them. Let's see how this goes. It went great. It was great. Cool. So immediately, almost immediately, the bed starts shaking like crazy. So the priest prays over him and then pulls him off the bed and sits him in a chair. And the bed stops shaking. He's like, okay, go to sleep. And fucking me. And then he the chair starts tipping over and knocks Roland onto the floor. And then the priest is like, okay. And he moves the chair. And he tries to get it tip. It's too heavy. He can't tip it. So he's like, all right, just sleep on the fucking floor. Sleep on the fucking floor. Then nothing can shake. And we're going to get some sleep. But unfortunately, poor little Roland, who the priest said seemed like in a trance state, his blankets start just dragging around the floor. At this point, the priest is like, oh, fuck. Nah, you're fucked. You need a Catholic priest. And, oh, I did find it again. I didn't think I'd find it this quick. So, the family's kind of like, okay. But they don't, like, do it right away. They go home, where things get fucking worse. So they go to the Catholic church and they meet this younger priest first. Where's my guy so I can talk to him? There he is.
Looking to earn some tabs? I could use a hand here if you're
So-
all talking, you know.
And the younger guy's like, okay, all right. I want to say he also did another monitoring thing. And the priest actually had him speaking Latin. So he was like, well, then he's definitely possessed. He's speaking a whole nother language. I'm not going to ask for extra money. So I'll just say, yes, I can
What do
help.
you need help with?
The pump isn't in
So,
but it should at least start. There must be some leaky connections flooding me out. Think you could fix them? The leaks will be underwater.
I'm completely losing my
Look for
train of
bubbles,
thought.
And you should find them.
My kids are going ham on the other side of this wall. Okay. So. The priest is like, let's get an exorcism. But this hinky priest doesn't actually seem to get it approved at all. He's more like, I can do this. And he reads the books. And apparently in the books, they are like, okay, you need to be old. You need to be pious as fuck. And this kid was like, 29, check. Full of myself, fucking check. Let's go. And it doesn't work out for him. So he's like, look, let's put you in a hospital. So we're doing this safely. And then we will, we'll get this exorcism done. So he gets him into the hospital. They tie him down. But he doesn't stay tied down, unfortunately for this priest. And he gets a hold of a spring from the bed, yanks it out, slashes the priest. The priest is like, I'm fucking out. I'm fucking out. This is too much. Too much. He quickly learns he's not the goat and regrets this decision. And apparently never went near exorcism again. But he does. So the family takes him home and they're like, well, fucking, hey, now what? You know? And then this. And I will say this is where the story I'm like, really? Really? So, according to them, he starts getting scratches on his body. Like the cat-like scratches. And they even start making letters. And then after this point, they make a word for Lewis. And somewhere in that line of thought went, the demon wants to go to St. Louis. So we gotta go. So they decide to appease the demon and go to St. Louis. I think they had some friends there. And the cousin that they had living near them, because he's still night terrors, shaking bed, every fucking night. Every night for this poor kid. He can't sleep at all. So she goes up to the college that she was going to, and she gets a priest to come out and look at him. And that priest sees it, clocks it, and is like, let me get a more experienced priest out here to help with this. And what's that? Oh, it's Cogsworth. Cogsworth, what are you doing down there? So the more experienced priest comes, he's like, okay, put him in the hospital. We're gonna do an exorcism. And they did get it approved by the church, with the writings and Latin, all that good stuff. And it takes a couple days. I want to say in his case, this priest was also kind of like, not really my thing. And they're like, no, but it is. And he was like, all right, fine. It'll be my thing. Oh, yeah. I forgot this part. He, even in school, apparently, books were flying, desks were flying, and people just thought he was the greatest prankster alive, apparently. Just disturbing everybody's peace. Anyways, so, We get the priest. Do it at the hospital. Gets another priest. Oh, then I stopped taking notes. Shit. Okay, we're going by the cuff, guys, because I didn't take all my notes. And my camera moved again. So. He's in the hospital. It actually takes a couple days. It's a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, and fucking A, where is this bubble? Oh, there it is. Fine. Okay. Go back up before I drown. Okay. I'm gonna get my machete. So eventually, through a lot of violence, I mean, the kid even broke the priest's nose, flailing, you know, all the cursing, all the things. The priests finally do get the devil out. And he actually apparently went on to live a very successful life, worked for NASA, had a couple kids. So it was a happy ending. No priest died in real life. And the reason we know about all of this is because the church had them keep a diary. And so all the story is coming straight from the priest's diary. Now, okay? When this shit hit the fan, like publicly, the Catholic Church did an investigation to make sure everything was on the up and up, which you were kind of like, but you approved it. But that's all. And in that investigation, they were like, nah, the kid was just crazy. The kid was just crazy. This was false. Never happened. Don't worry about it. Everyone look away. Which gives a lot of people who don't believe in these situations all the footing they need to be like, see, it was fake. He was faking it. But in that case, what? Because even if you're talking about trauma, because one of the podcasts I was listening to was talking about, like, so the naysayers are like, you know, a lot of these behaviors can come from trauma. The exorcism is really more of a placebo thing. But I'm like, really? Because exorcisms are pretty fucking traumatic. I mean, they're tying you down, just praying at you, and
Hey there.
That's a ticket.
like,
You do the honors.
it doesn't seem like a great way to actually do anything. Oh, bit of ice. How would he be automatically better? You know? Because even, I mean, at best, what is this? Some type of hypochondria? I'm pretty sure that doesn't go away just because you're like, oh, this was a wonderful placebo. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like all naysayers really have is just being like, well, I just don't want to believe. So, there you go. That's it. Where are the, oh, I gotta turn it on, that's right. Like, where are the Miralax? So, I mean, that's the, alright. That is the true story of it. Personally, I will say, comparing the two stories, Roland Doe's story, I think way scarier. Than the movie. And maybe because it was just more concise. Come on, hit the stupid thing. Let me hit it. I hate you so much for not letting me hit it. I'm dying before you kill me. Oh, I didn't save it again. Well, this has been a fun hour, guys. So, I didn't finish what I was saying. I like the true story better. I think it's more creepy. But I do think The Exorcist, I think that The Exorcist can stay in the classic lane for sure. I mean, it's the music, the effects, amazing. It holds up movie wise, you know. The true story also pretty creepy. And I can't believe that it isn't like more mainstream. Because we all know, like, the Emily Roses, all the female ones are, like, big. But, like, his is very much like, oh, yeah, there's this guy over here, you know? So, yeah. So, I will see you guys back next Friday. Same time, same place. 10 p.m. Right here. And if you missed the lives, I do post these on my YouTube channel, Dorky Fish. Shit's true. And, go follow and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. And I might do another one. You will never know. I might keep recording after this. So always keep an eye out for fuckery abound. Love you guys. Bye. Oh.